All right, before we get to plumbing, I noticed this guy was dancing in the park, and I just had to get it on tape because it's Sunday morning at 6 a.m. Any other time or day, this would have been completely normal for the city, but Sunday morning at 6 a.m., nothing good's happening. If you're still awake, that just means you had a really rough night. We're back at the 10 units, and we're going to run some more drainage. I'm going to be picking away at this over the next couple of weeks till I get her finished off. And, you know me, the dry fit king. We're running, I'm just trying to get my idea with the fittings I got before I get going with glue and primer. So, now that I got the idea in my head, we're going to take it apart. It's not that hard, people. Relax. Jesus Christ. It wasted some time. You wasted too much time dry fitting. But yet, if I would have glued it all and made a mistake and didn't have the pitch and blah, 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 I would have had to buy new fittings anyway. So, suck it, boys. We're building a trunk line right there, picking up a laundry before I begin my wet vent. That's a 3x2 Y. We're going to roll it up above center. Then we're going to put a 2-inch Y. We're going to roll that one above center. The 2-inch branch is going to pick up the lav, which is oversized 2-inch, and that's called the wet vent because water goes down half the pipe and air goes up the other half. Tub's coming off the back end of that 2-inch Y with a 2x1.5 bushing. Like fucking John Madden over here with this wet vent. And we're going to be doing a 3x490. It gets some people angry, but not me. It makes me happy, especially on the finish when all I got to do is cut it flush because I don't have to worry about whatever the tile guy's going to do. And it's a perfect situation to do it since I got 10 toilets to do. I can probably cut all 10 flanges into the same amount of time if I were to stub up a piece of 3-inch on one of these things. Believe it. Fight me about it, all right? We're using A-bands underneath here because I got to drop this down below the joist a pretty good penny. So instead of buying long strap hangers, we're just going to use threaded rod and A-bands. You can put your level on the flat on top of a fitting like that and be able to get if it's level or not by just looking up at the bubbles, believe it or not. I should have put a clean out on that 2-inch run for the lav, but I'm going to just ask for forgiveness because we're using a breakaway trap underneath the sink that's right above it. Worst case, I got to cut one in. What are you going to do? Now, some of you people are going to be like, you're just doing glue. You can't just do glue. I don't know how many times I got to tell you idiots that I'm not doing just glue. I've edited film before where I showed the primer and the glue, and I was like, man, this is boring as hell. And then I noticed that people are picking up on this in the comments section, and it's just driving me through the algorithm tunnels. You know what I'm saying? Even better is the purple. I mean, how many times can I possibly talk about this until I don't know. Let's stop talking about it. So some of you are going to say, hey, you're running right underneath that sprinkler head. That's right there. Listen, the sprinkler head is it's when it breaks, the water goes to the left and the right, not directly down underneath it. And it's only a 4-inch round pipe. Jesus Christ, it's an open ceiling. Cut me some slack here, people. I'm doing the best that I can out here. And we're working it backwards. I don't know. Listen, I can plumb forwards, backwards. I can start in the middle. That's when you know that you've become somewhat of a decent pipe layer. Ask your sister about that one, my friend. The only problem with it is you won't be able to spin the last fitting a quarter turn like it asks for. But, hey, if you use enough glue, you don't have to give it that spin on that last fitting. Now, don't forget, this is a Sunday, and I'm only working 6 to noon. So I'm just working I'm doing as much as I can before it turns 12. And we're almost at that point. And that's an I-beam that's going above that 4-inch that I needed to make it underneath. So we're going to use this 3/8 beam clamp and slap a hanger on there. I know some of you residential clowns will never understand what that is, but maybe I just taught you something. Who knows? And we've been installing the last piece of pipe for today. The other drops you see is another bathroom. I got one more wet vent system to do on this side, tie it into the main, and then we're moving on the other side. I can tell you that I edit stuff out just like I flipped those channel locks 37 times and I only showed you the one time I made it. And just so everybody knows, there it is. It's primer. It's Bill and Pete, but I don't use either of them. I just stick it together with saliva. Your sister wouldn't have it any other way. So there it is, all said and done. Wet vent, picking up the laundry. We're running backwards, and I'm curious to see what some people will have to say. I think I did a pretty good job. I just passed an inspection today, and the inspector said that it told you.